Hi, I'm Antonia, and this is Universally Me, the channel for all things Universal. And I just saw Universal's new movie, The Fall Guy, which I didn't even really think I was going to like. I'm not a big action fan, and I loved it. And I really haven't heard people talking about this movie or seeing it. And if I have, I haven't heard good things, mostly from the people talking about it. I don't know anyone else who has seen this movie yet, but I loved it. So I'm a little bit appalled. I think everyone is making a mistake right now and they need to go see The Fall Guy. So I'm going to tell you all about this movie and I'm going to tell you why you should see it. The Fall Guy stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. It is comedy action, really heavy emphasis on both, but action here is really supposed to be the star. If you see this movie in theaters, I assume this is only in theaters, director David Leitch, who was once a stuntman himself, and Ryan Gosling do a little intro where they have some funny quips about like, don't use your cell phone if you do use it or whatever. But also, David Leitch explains that this movie is supposed to be a love letter to stuntmen who are really one of the unsung heroes of the film industry. Like, most people out there can hardly name one or two stunt actors unless they've made sort of the transition to being an actor. And these performers are risking their bodies and their lives every single day just to give us a better show. And, you know, it's a really selfless act in many ways. So stunt performers should get more love. And this movie is a fantastic showcase for all of the amazing things they do and just how amazingly they do them. This movie is also really meta. It's very like self-referential and references the film business as a whole so much, which makes it really fun, especially for somebody like me who loves the film industry, who loves getting those looks behind the scene. The whole movie felt kind of like an inside joke at times, which just made it so much more fun to watch. In The Fall Guy, Ryan Gosling plays Colt Seavers, who was a stuntman who got injured, and he gets a job on this movie in Australia, being directed by his love interest, Emily Blunt. And also, while he's out there, he finds out that the lead of the film is missing, and he kind of gets put on double duty figuring out what happened to the actor. He's sort of navigating all of the shady characters who might be involved. And so there's like the daytime movie stunt stuff and then the nighttime scary people stunt stuff. From even just that little intro with David Leitch and Ryan Gosling, like already I was sort of primed and ready to watch the movie. I don't know, something about it just kind of lightened my mood about what I thought the movie was going to be. It just really set the tone. And then the opening scene, like, totally sold it for me. And I think that big credit for that goes to Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, who had the most palpable chemistry I've ever seen. I instantly wanted them to be together. I wanted all the good things for them. They ooze like so much charm. And it's funny because I think about these sparks that I see flying between them. But in that opening scene, 70% of it is just happening through walkie-talkies. So, like, ostensibly, they weren't even in the same room together. But I could feel it between them, which I guess just speaks to how good they both are as actors. I absolutely adored them through 100% of the film. And then going back to this movie being a love letter for stunt people, stunt performers, yes, there is this, love story in it. There is all of this comedy in it. There are also so many stunts in this movie. I like think of a stunt and it's in this movie. There's fighting with swords, fighting with guns, fighting each other, getting thrown through walls and off of balconies. And there's helicopters and boats and car and truck chases. And they won a Guinness World Record for the most number of car flips, which was 8.5. So that's incredible. And this movie also had the first person with a designation by the Screen Actors Guild and the Directors Guild of America as stunt designer. And this designation is really an elevation that speaks to the coordination, the choreograph, the conceptualization of it all, that it's not just setting somebody on fire or, it's not just the execution of a stunt, but it's conceptualizing it across the entire film. And I thought it was incredibly done. And, stunts, stunt performers and stunt designers, any aspect of stuntery, they're not like recognized at the Oscars yet. There's no Oscar award for stunt performers. And I do hope that maybe this will be a step closer. One argument against it is that if we start rewarding things like stunts, it's possible stunt performers are going to be put to such extremes in order to win those awards and that their safety might be put at risk. I do understand that. On the other side, some people just argue that the Oscars are already too long and it's not worth the time, and that's a little infuriating to hear, again, when you remember that these stunt people are risking their lives every single day. So I do hope that we're able to find good ways to recognize stunt performers going forward. And again, like seeing this movie just on its face, it's the easiest thing that you can do to show your appreciation for all of the stunt performers out there. That's just step one. I don't know if the credit for this goes to the actors, to the director, to the writer. I don't know. But one thing that really sold me on this movie, especially being such a fantastical action movie, is how grounded so much of it was played. I think it elevated the comedy of it. They would give a line, like the line could be as simple as "a lot of running around, Gail," but it was said in such a truthful way, not slapstick, not absurdist, that I found myself laughing through the film so much. Now, sometimes also there were sort of absurdist lines, things like something like "Dune's goons who dirtied my Shirley." I think that's what it was. "Dune's goons who dirtied my Shirley," which is absurd. But again, it was said in such like truth that it didn't feel absurd. And I think I'm the first one, like, you guys could probably vouch for me in other movies. I'll talk about this felt shoehorned in, that felt shoehorned in. And this was a movie where it could have felt so shoehorned in because some of the things that they were saying were ridiculous, and somehow it didn't. Emily Blunt, in one of the scenes, it's like a very touching, genuine conversation, but she's wearing like half an alien costume with like this giant hand and it should have been ridiculous. Some movies I would have hated that, and I was like absolutely dying. I also want to give credit. I really want to give credit across the board in a really good way. It didn't just feel like the stunts that were highlighted. Yes, the stunts and the stunt performers were the absolute star of this movie. But in every category, everything was consistently good. The soundtrack, the score, the sound design, the set design, the costumes, everything was so good, which again lent it to feeling like such a great movie. This should have been the movie of summer. This should be the movie of summer, and I don't know why no one is talking about it. It's so good. The acting is good. The stunts are great. The movie is fun. The plot is good. It does not go too off the rails. It has a great story. It's so meta. Hollywood loves movies about Hollywood. I really am just not understanding where the movie has gone wrong and why people aren't flocking to see this film. I hope that my video right here does well enough that it encourages others to go out and see it, because it deserves it. I can only imagine this was a fantastic set to be on, not just because Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling have such great reputations in Hollywood. From everything I've ever heard, they're like wonderful, fantastic, hilarious people, but also because of all the things that make this movie great: the fun costumes, the hilarious lines, the great cameos that they had, of course, the action and the stunts. And I just wish that I could have worked on this movie or been a fly on the wall. It just looked amazing. I feel like because my channel is usually so history based, I should add a little bit about the background of this film, which is that it is loosely based on a 1980s TV show called The Fall Guy, which starred Lee Majors. It was about a stuntman who at night moonshadows as a bounty hunter. I unfortunately can't speak a ton to the history of the show, though. I've only seen maybe half an episode, but know that this movie doesn't have a whole lot to do with the old TV show. I know you can go into this movie totally blind to The Fall Guy from the 1980s, and you will enjoy it. You will thank me. I absolutely know it. And in fact, I want all of you to go watch now and then come back and tell me that I was right and you love this movie. And then I want to see this movie go to number one if it's not there already. I don't even know how it's doing, but it can't be number one because I don't know anyone who's seen it. So go see it right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of The Fall Guy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Antonia Carlotta. Join the Lemley family with a paid YouTube membership or on Patreon. I'm posting tons of bonus content all the time, and I want to see you there and I want to talk to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.